was just curious. So the whole heritage of Jawi Peranakans, right? And I'm only asking because I kind of figured maybe you have some insight. Is that a predominantly Penang Island thing?
I think it's predominantly Penang Island thing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It being a trade port.
Yeah, it being a trade port. It is also what they called last time 𝗬𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀. So people who had to go for Hajj, before there were flights, they need to board a ship. And the ship would come and fetch. One of the main gathering points was 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗀 right behind here. And they would gather here before they embark on their Hajj. So people from...
Masjid,
yeah. So that's why they had the masjid. And then what surrounds the masjid are actually businesses that complement this seafaring trade, you know? So there are insurance, there are travel agencies, there are money changers, there are gifts like jewels and things, and food supply that you can buy.
It's still to this very day.
Yeah, it's still to this day.
Money changers to insurance.
Yeah, everywhere.
Jewelers.
And travel agencies.
Travel agents too.
Yeah. And from this exchange with the Hajj, as well as, like you said, a busy trading port, many families settled down in Penang and introduced their foods, and a lot of it is specific to Georgetown. For example, we have the 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀. The 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀 is an Arab heritage dish, which is mainly of okra and meat and tomato. So it's like a soup. And the first time I tried it was in the 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗀 mosque growing up. Yeah. And other mosques would do different things, but in this area, they cook what their family ancestors were always cooking.
I mean, did you know the recipe before you added it?
We never had the recipe, but we know of the recipe amongst family and people in the community. But there won't be anywhere you can go and buy it or eat it. You know, you have to wait for Hari Raya or Kenduri or something before you get to have access to these things.
You know what's awesome about this story? It almost reminds me of a very like Ratatouille moment.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where you had the Ratatouille and like the guy eats it, it's like he remembers his mom, and it's sort of like the same thing where you have the dish, you eat it, you remember that time in childhood when you ate it in the mosque. You know?
Yeah, it is. Because we didn't actually put it in the menu, for example. It would just be stuck in people's houses. The public wouldn't know about this. And once they taste food like this or discover food like this, the next question is, where did it come from? How did this food come about to be a local cuisine of Penang? And that's, I think, what gives people a bit more of a whole package when they come and eat here, because the food has a lot of links to local history, and people like to find this.
See, here's the thing. I don't know if I want to embarrass my friend, but the first time we came here, one of the comments was like, because Jawi is also an Arabic alphabet system.
Yes.
So when I told them like, okay, let's go to this place that I googled called Jawi House, they were just like, they thought it was like a calligraphy.
Correct. Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could give some insight from your perspective about your heritage.
So the word Jawi Peranakan, so we already established what Peranakan is. But Jawi is like what you said. It's Malay language written in an Arabic script, but it also depicts the title or what the Arabs call Muslims of the Nusantara area. So Muslims of Southeast Asia, in the Nusantara area, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, people who look like you and me lah, a bit Malay,
so that's
yeah. So they refer to these people as Jawi, orang Jawi, the Jawi community. And even in the south of Thailand, the Malay language and the Malay people, the Malay-speaking Thais, they are called Jawi. They are called Jawi. Orang Jawi, or the language is called Jawi.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So it's not just a script that you learn in school.
Well, it is a script that we learn in school, but it also has a larger meaning of a certain community or ethnicity of people.
Yeah. Was that your intention when you first started all of this? Because there's so much culture that goes into this place.
Initially, the intention was my mother's academic research into all of this. So she was a professor and she did a lot of research, and she published many books about the diasporas, about how all these communities came and back and forth, traded with Penang. And from there, she also published some recipe book. And we didn't have any intention to set anything out like this. Basically, my mom researched her own family heritage. I left wherever I was working in KL in a few restaurants, and to try to help my mom create recipes which are to sell for a public business. And just things worked out step by step. We didn't really plan anything. We just did what we did, and we didn't think that it's going to really be super unique, because we just thought we're just doing our usual home food. Yeah, just our usual food that we are used to. And it turns out that the food that we're used to is very different from what other people have been growing up with. In fact, initially it was more of an information center and an art gallery with a bit of food at the back. And then over a few years, we extended the seats and we added on seats and the menu and things like that.